There's a secret Hollywood doesn't want you to know. Diane Lane is an angel, and you will be captivated by her. She is sultry and sophisticated and has had a career spanning over 4 decades. Diane has sizzled on screen with her undeniable sensuality and depth. From her early days as a teen star to her provocative performance in films like Unfaithful, Diane has embraced her sexuality and used it to bring complex characters to life. Join us as we celebrate Diane Lane's most alluring roles and explore what makes her a true cinematic seductress. Unfaithful. It would be a crime not to start with one of the most popular films of the 2000s era. Unfaithful is a psychological drama that explores the complexities of marriage, desire, and betrayal. The story follows Diane Lane, who plays Connie Summer, a happily married woman who, despite her seemingly perfect life, finds herself drawn to a charming stranger, Paul Martel, played by Olivier Martinez. In the beginning, Connie Summer appears to have it all: a loving husband, a beautiful son, and a comfortable life in the suburbs. But things soon take a different turn. Ever since she collided with Paul Martel when he helped her with her skinned knee, it was impossible to keep him out of her mind. After meeting Paul, she begins to venture out of her comfort zone and explore the city, and begins experiencing a sense of freedom, and that freedom leads to an affair with him. In one of the many secret trysts, Paul and Connie sit in a restaurant trying to keep their affair a secret. However, their passion gets the better of them, and Paul discreetly puts his hand in Connie's jeans, making her jerk forward a little. As they share an intense, passionate kiss, a suited businessman, played by Eric Pursullivan, glances over at them, looking disapprovingly. Did they care? Absolutely not. In another scene, Connie shares an intimate moment with Paul, a tantalizing distraction from her phone call with her son. As Paul's hand grazes her thigh, Connie's focus shakes and she's drawn to the warmth of his touch. The gentle caress ignites a spark, and for a fleeting instant, her connection with Paul surpasses her maternal duties. Then things took a dark turn. Paul mysteriously disappears, and Connie is left to build her monotonous marriage with her husband. Events point to her husband knowing about the affair, and their marriage remains haunted by the weight of Connie's unfaithfulness. Diane makes cheating classy with her performance, and the way she portrays a bored housewife who begins to explore her sexuality is beyond amazing. Only a few actresses could pull that off, and the movie would most likely not work with another actress. In an interview, Diane joked about the cinema gods and how they messed with her. She further explains that the first thing they did was to shoot the lovemaking scenes because she felt so insecure about it. Well, there was nothing insecure about that performance, or what do you think? A Walk in the Moon. This movie tells the story of Pearl, played by Diane Lane, the protagonist of the movie. Pearl is a devoted wife and mother, but she feels trapped in her mundane life. As her husband works long hours, Pearl is left to care for their 2 children and manage their household. Feeling suffocated by her responsibilities and longing for excitement, Pearl begins an affair with a free-spirited blouse salesman, Walker, whom Viggo Mortensen played. Okay, what is it with Diane playing cheating women? Pearl's encounter with Walker awakes her desire for passion and self-expression, leading to a transformative journey of self-discovery. As Pearl discovers another side of herself, she sheds off her control and clothes and fully embraces a new identity. In a scene, Pearl is trying on different clothes and experimenting with her style while having a heart-to-heart conversation with her daughter, Allison, played by Anna Paquin. While she undresses and tries on various outfits, she's not only exploring her sense of self, but also seeking validation and connection with her daughter. Oh, and did you see her bazooms? Mamma mia! Diane could have easily had a career as a model. Diane's character goes deeper into her attraction for Walker, and she shares a sensual and intimate encounter with him that takes them in a dimly lit, cozy corner. As they go deeper, Pearl asks, "What's your name?" amidst whispers, seeking a deeper understanding of this enigmatic stranger who has enchanted her heart. After she asks the question, Walker takes her hand and pulls her close, and they share a tender and sensual kiss. A "we shouldn't be doing this" moment where 2 people couldn't resist themselves. Diane Lane's character stands up to her husband Marty and asserts her desire for independence and autonomy. In the end, surprisingly, Pearl decides to stay with her family and end the affair with Walker. Serenity. Serenity is a neo-noir thriller that explores themes of fate, morality, obsession, illusion, and existentialism. Through its themes, the film dazzles its audience with its complex and intriguing narrative. The film introduces Baker Diale, a troubled veteran struggling to make ends meet on the small island of Plymouth. His life is turned upside down when his ex-wife Karen, played by Anne Hathaway, and her son Patrick, played by Cameron McDonald, arrive on the island. As Baker becomes involved in Karen's plan, he's forced with a moral dilemma that threatens to destroy everything he holds dear. And of course, things take a mind-blowing twist that change everything. Diane Lane plays the role of Constance, a sultry and charming woman who arrives on the island where Baker lives. Of course, her presence sparks a sense of mystery and unfinished emotions with Baker. In a scene that unfolds between Baker Diale in Constance's cozy beachside bungalow, a tranquil oasis amid the turmoil of Baker's life. The soft lighting, gentle music, and sound of waves crashing in the background create a sensual ambience, setting the tone for the intimate moment. Constance, with a subtle smile, begins to unbutton Baker's shirt, her fingers lingering on his chest. As she removes the shirt, revealing his bare torso, she leans in and kisses him passionately. Baker could have never missed a chance of comfort, what he desperately needed. There's another scene of Constance with, you guessed it, Baker Diale. As they embrace, Constance begins to dance seductively for Baker, swaying to the music with a sensual grace. Baker watches, entranced, as Constance's dance becomes more intimate and alluring. As their relationship went on, Constance cleverly and boldly confronted Baker about his obsession with his purpose in the film. She also discusses the elusive purpose and the true nature of his reality. What Diale is searching for in the film represents the unattainable nature of a time gone that he is desperately trying to grasp and make sense of. Would you be seeing the movie? The Big Town. The Big Town is a neo-noir crime drama that delves into the dark themes of ambition, greed, and the American dream. Set in the 1950s, the movie explores the cutthroat world of high-stakes gambling, where fortunes are made and lost with every roll of the dice. The story follows Diane Lane, who plays Lori Dane, who, in the sweltering underbelly of 1950s Chicago, is a sultry and enigmatic strip club performer with a mysterious past. Her life takes a dramatic turn when she meets J.C. Cullen, a small-town craps player with big dreams and an even bigger appetite for risk, who Matt Dillon plays. As CJ becomes involved in the city's high-stakes gambling scene, Lori finds herself drawn to his charming and reckless nature. However, the whirlwind romance of their relationship is threatened by the dark secrets of Lori's past, which she desperately tries to keep hidden. As JC's fortunes rise and fall with each roll of the dice, Lori becomes his good luck charm, and together they navigate a treacherous world of loan sharks, gangsters, and corrupt cops. She is more than his good luck charm. She's also the woman who takes away his worries. The tension between the two builds up and spills in an iconic scene from The Big Town, which takes place near a train station, where J.C. Cullen, Matt Dillon, and Lori Dane, Diane Lane, share a romantic moment. As they walk together, they come to a stop near the train tracks, and CJ takes Lori in his arms. They share a tender and intense kiss, and just as their lips meet, a spark from the train tracks above flies off. The spark from the train may have stopped, but the ones between Lori Dane, Diane Lane, and JC didn't. They share a passionate and intimate moment in her apartment. The scene is a slow-burning and sensual depiction of their romance. Despite the romance, Lane's character remains focused. She expertly and confidently deals cards at a high-stakes poker game, showcasing her impressive card-handling skills and earning the respect of the male players at the table. Talk about a woman with skills and a boss babe. However, Lori Dane doesn't get her happily ever after, or maybe she does, depending on how you see it. As CJ's gambling addiction and troubles with the mob escalate, Lori makes a heart-wrenching decision to leave him, knowing that she can't save him from himself. So, do you think she made the right choice? Can her choice be considered her happy ending? Nights in Rodanthe. The plot of this film introduces the ever-beautiful Diane Lane, who plays the character Adrienne Willis. Adrienne is a strong and independent woman in her 40s who's been separated from her husband, Jack, played by Christopher Maloney, for a year. She's a mother of 2 teenage children and is struggling to come to terms with her new role as a single parent. At the beginning of the film, Adrienne is feeling lost and uncertain about her future. As Adrienne travels and chooses to help her friend manage her bed and breakfast inn, she meets Paul Flanner, who Richard Gere plays. Paul is a charming and introspective doctor who is also staying at the inn. Over the course of the week, Adrienne and Paul share stories, laughter, and tears, and Adrienne begins to see the world and herself in a new light. The two began to share stories and became close, and that closeness began to evolve into something tender. Adrienne and Paul began cooking dinner together. In the cooking scene, they stand side by side, chopping vegetables and stirring the pot, their hands touching occasionally as they work. They begin to flirt and tease each other. He takes her hand and they share a tender, romantic moment, their eyes locked on each other. Adrienne slowly discovers love, but the problem is that her new discovery looks to be temporary. Or was it? After a wonderful week of sharing stories, laughter, and tears, it was time for Paul to leave. As Paul walks away, Adrienne watches him go, looking emotional and torn. Paul gets into his car and starts driving away, but suddenly stops. He gets out of the car and runs back to Adrienne, who is still standing on the beach. She seems shocked. Paul approaches her, takes her face in his hands, and plants a passionate kiss on her lips. Beautiful, isn't it? When Paul eventually leaves, Adrienne, her children, and her best friend Jean, played by Viola Davis, walk down to the dock where Adrienne and Paul once danced. Her mood is reflective, peaceful, and hopeful. Will she find Paul again? That's for all the viewers to contemplate with their imagination. And there you have it, folks. 5 acclaimed movie roles where Diane Lane brought both soft and intense sexiness and left us yearning for more. From her iconic performances in Unfaithful to Serenity, Lane has proven herself to be an expert in bringing sensuality to the big screen. Which film was your favorite? And which scene did you enjoy the most? Let us know in the comments, like this video, and subscribe to the channel for more.